I've spent basically my entire life in District 11. I was born and raised in Bayard, which is in Callahan County. I grew up on a small family-owned farm outside of Bayard, so we raised Angora goats and cattle, so got some agriculture background. I graduated from Hardin-Simmons University in Abilene with an accounting degree. I later went and got my MBA from the University of Texas at Austin. And after graduating from Hardin-Simmons, I went to work for a national accounting firm in Midland. Spent 8 years with the old Pete Marwick firm, or KPMG firm. And then after that, I spent about 20 years working on the other side of the desk. I took a number of companies public. I was Chief Financial Officer and Chief Executive Officer for a number of companies. Then about 15 years ago, I had a chance to get back into public accounting. So I've been an audit partner with Johnson Miller in Midland and Odessa. So I've got about 20 years of public accounting experience, and then about 20 years of business experience. And then I've also been involved in the Republican Party for over 30 years as a grassroots volunteer. I've been to the state convention for 30 years, so I've been actively involved in the Republican Party. And then I was mayor of Midland, so I've got some elected political experience, so I bring a lot to the table. Well, I listened to the other candidates first, and I guess none of the candidates were addressing the primary issue that I'm concerned about, and that's our national debt. Our national debt is $23 trillion. And in the last 12 years, we have had deficits of over $1 trillion. And so we have doubled our national debt in 12 years. And I tell people that $1 trillion is 1,000 billion dollars. So we are spending $1,000 billion more than our revenue. And we just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. And Congress refuses to take the steps that it needs to basically control spending and reduce our debt. If we don't do something, and do something quickly, I'm concerned that we could default on our national debt or leave a terrible legacy for our children and grandchildren. That's my main issue, but I'm also very concerned about protecting the unborn. I'm very concerned about protecting our constitutional guaranteed gun rights. I'm a gun owner. I'm a member of the NRA, and I believe very much in protecting our constitutionally guaranteed rights. I'm also concerned about the border. I think we must control our border and basically implement some controls, whether it's the wall or whether it's electronic securities, but we have to maintain control over our borders. On the other hand, I think we've got to do some things about the immigration issue. I think President Trump wants to bring in people that are sort of merit-based, that have some skills when they come to the country. And I think we should encourage that. So those are the main issues that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about keeping our military strong, and I'm concerned about making sure we have a good handle on terrorism around the world, and we've done a good job of that. If I were to be elected, I believe that there are congressmen in Washington that are also like-minded. And I think as a freshman congressman, I would want to work with like-minded congressmen and just keep hammering on the fact that we've got to reduce our deficit spending. It won't take place overnight, but I think if you just keep hammering on the fact that we have got to reduce spending almost literally across the board. And so both Republicans and Democrats have to agree you can't get everything you want, but I think we have got to start reducing our deficit somewhat gradually, but over a period of time, and set goals and basically be determined that we're going to cut spending and reduce the national debt. Well, I would tell my fellow candidates that what I've learned in politics, there's only going to be one winner. And most of the men, there's a lady that she dropped out, but I know I've talked to the men and they're very dedicated and they've got good objectives. I would tell them to if they don't win, is to continue working with the process. Don't give up. Stay in the political process. Keep working on your ideas and don't give up. Well, I would say that I bring a lot to the table. I have over 20 years of business experience. I have 20 years of public accounting experience. I have elected political experience. I've made tough decisions, and then I have worked with the Republican Party for over 30 years. I have fought the budget battles. I know what Republican values are all about.